It's Kimberly Purpose and welcome family. Today I wanted to do another video, and this time I want to do it on crystal healing, American Indian secrets of crystal healing. I got this idea because I am doing a lot of training right now, and I'm taking a class on crystal healing, and I'm becoming a crystal healing therapist. So I was interested in it because I've been doing some research, and as I learn more about our indigenous roots as American Aborigines, I'm learning about how the Indians use crystals for healing. And I found this interesting excerpt from this book. I don't think this is the whole book, but it was written by, let's see, Luke Bourgault. I'm gonna put a link to this video, to this book, and it's definitely on Amazon. And I'm not sure if he's an Indian. And I saw his picture. He's from Canada, and I'm not sure if he's from a Canadian tribe in Canada, but he looks like he might have been mixed or something, or I don't think he's a full-blooded Indian, but I'll go to that page so you all can see it. But he wrote an interesting book that touches on the topic of crystal healing. And I know a lot of us who are just now discovering who we are, thanks to the internet and our history finally showing the truth, and we're seeing the artwork and the statues of our ancestors. We're starting to see exactly how things took place. And as we get a chance to see how things actually took place, we start, I know for me, I've been getting a chance to understand more and see more. And I've seen how we all have been lied to and indoctrinated to believe only in the Christian faith. And I believe we've been indoctrinated to follow everything that's Europeanized. Everything is European, and a lot of the things that our ancestors done that can bring us closer to who we are and having more of an identity and an understanding has been kept from us, and I believe it's by design. And we stay away from a lot of these remedies and these ancient rituals. I guess you could call it rituals. Some of it is actually science and supported by science in some ways. And we have literally kept ourselves away from it because of what we've been brainwashed to only believe from what the Europeans has introduced to us. And so when you study Christianity, you're sort of in this mindset to only think one way. And we're also in the mindset of only looking at the physical, mostly the physical. In Western society, that's, I mentioned in the early video about chakras, how we always focus on what is in the physical, and we never look at the spiritual side to things and looking at things from a different concept. But as I read more about our indigenous roots and everything, I'm starting to understand that the Aborigines believed that everything had a spirit, including rocks. And, since we've been Europeanized or colonized, we tend to look at a rock and say, oh, it's just a rock. It doesn't have any meaning or any type of significance. We look at the trees. We don't look at it as having any type of meaning or any type of significance. If you look at the Avatar, I don't know about that movie, the Avatar with the aliens with the tails. Um, they think sort of like what the indigenous people thought here in Americas. Uh, they believe that everything is connected to their planet, and it's just like here on Earth, everything is connected. It has some sort of meaning tied to each other, and we are earth tone people, just like our skin tone. You know how beautiful, dark copper colored skin, bronze colored skin. Uh, we are attached to this earth, and we are connected to this earth. I would say not attached, but more like connected to this earth. And we don't realize that we are made of energy, and understanding how the energy source works is very important, including when it comes to objects like crystals. Crystals are very very powerful, and people don't fail to realize the significance of it. And I think a lot of people shy away from crystal therapy because a lot of European, and I think one way that they kept people, they gave us Christianity and forced us to believe in only Christianity. And with Christianity, it sort of locks you in. And I don't know, I won't just say it's Christianity because, there's non-denominational part of Christianity. But I would say more like the indoctrination. I'm not going to put religion exactly in it. It's more like the whole setup of indoctrination. You're taught through the slave codes. I did a video about the slave codes. That's how they locked us in mentally and psychological into only one way of thinking. And when you're under one way of thinking, you're not open enough to seeing other things. And then we're taught that studying other things, such as, understanding energy and chakras and all that, we're pretty much been indoctrinated to think that's something evil. And then of course they put the label New Age, and which is another way of putting paganism, which is another European to sort of put it on, they took some of our knowledge as indigenous people and gave it a twist by putting their name on it as pagan or New Age, which is really false, because if you look further back, the indigenous people was doing this prior to the Caucasian bringing in New Age and all this other stuff. And so it gives it more of a darker or negative tone when it can actually be a beautiful thing, and actually opens us up to the universe and learning more about who we are as a people. And a lot of times we shield ourselves from expanding our world knowledge on different healing techniques and connecting with the universe is by the indoctrination. But I can go on and on about it. I just wanted to explain how we hide ourselves from this because we think it's evil. Some people think everything else that's not Christian is evil, or if it's not a European way of thinking of, or something is wrong with you because you see that everything has an energy source, and that is important to understand these energies, understanding that your body has energy points, chakra points, and really these chakra points is like your life force connected to your soul. We come in through your head chakra and then go out at your crown chakra. It's not head, but crown. But anyway, I want to share this book. And Mr. Luke, I don't know how to pronounce this, Borgalt. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But it says here, the text that follows in is that adaptation is by Arthur Blue Eagle. And then they talk about the recording. of his course, the First Nations approach to the use of crystals in therapy. The teaching has, until quite recently, always been passed down by word of mouth and aligned with didactic traditions, particular to the First Nations of Cherokee and Apache tribe. It's interesting. I like how they explain that. It says didactic traditions. And I find it interesting how these half-breeds that's calling themselves Indians or Native Americans, they use word of knowledge and stories to tie themselves into their indigenous roots. But as Aborigines, our grandparents passed these stories down to us, but they downplay and tell us, oh, you're still not an American Aborigine. But I'm going, you're allowed to pass down, you're not even a full-blooded Indian, but yet we're more of a full-blooded Indian, but we're not allowed to pass down our family traditions. Because a lot of us, I say a big chunk of us, been told that we are Indians, and we have heard it from our grandparents or great-grandparents. And so that in this effect is a didactic tradition. So don't let that deter you. I think that's another reason why a lot of us sort of shy away from, because we think these mongoloids or these hybrid looking Indians in the $5 tribe that's fairly recognized are the only ones that's allowed to do this or understand more about their indigenous roots, and that's not true. This is something that we were, kept out of because our families were prisoners of war. Our ancestors was descendants of wars, and it sort of kept us from erased our history and kept us from connecting back with our heritage and our culture. So I just wanted to tell you that a lot of these people that are in these tribes, or some of these state recognized and federal recognized tribes, are using the same techniques of word of mouth, because they're not even 100% who they are either. And then not only that, these federal recognized tribes, a lot of these folks that's in these tribes are not even the real Indians. If they have any mixture of Indian, they might be, I would say, the $5 Indians, because a lot of them have the $5 Indians. And so they are, trying to pretty much, and I think all this was set up by design to keep us from tapping or going back and reconnecting to, our ancestors, and understanding more of, the cultural aspect and the spiritual aspect of our ancestors. And I think once we become more enlightened and connect to us, we can heal our wounds and become a better race of people. We can connect and love each other and grow and bring peace back here on this earth plane in the universe. But yes, so I like how he explained how a lot of these things has been passed down from generation to generation. And I'm pretty sure if we go back and listen to some of our ancestors and what they're saying, our elders, some of this stuff is passed down to us as well, through oral traditions and everything. And so I think that's something that we need to start documenting and sharing with each other, so we can all learn together. I'm going to show you a picture of the author of this book. Let me see. I'm going to bring you all over with me. I believe this is him. Yeah, that's him right here. That's the one who wrote this book. It's in French. Yeah, see, he's a French Canadian, but he supposedly is supposed to be from that tribe. Here's another picture of him. And this is the book I was telling you about, Secrets of Chrystal Healing. See? And yeah, I'm not sure. I want to say Algonquin tribe. I'm not sure if that's correct tribe or not. Don't take my word for it. I have to research that. I'm not sure which tribe he's from. But this is him, though. All right. And so, as you can see, he's not a full-blooded Indian. He's not a full-blooded Aborigine Indian. So let's go back to where we were. And it says here the tradition of First Nations called upon the synchronization of the two hemispheres of the brain, a concept known as self-focusing or centering, is order to achieve the full and complete understanding of the teachings. The pedagogical um, techniques, amongst others, helps this synchronization. The ritual and ceremonial context and the repetition of the teachings. And it also says the oral teachings in the courses given by Blue Eye and Blue Eagle each day starts with an opening ceremony and prayer silence. And I guess they're explaining how they did it. And then this act of greeting for persons to allow them to focus on themselves. And the author advises that people attend more than several sessions. But yeah, they're just showing you how they did it. Use crystals and the techniques they use. But I wasn't trying to show you that. Scroll down. I think it was another part here. I thought that was the right section. Uh on this session, he's telling you how they did it, and I wasn't trying to show. Here it is, and this is the paragraph. It says the right because I was trying to explain to you how he was just. I wasn't trying to read that part. That was just giving you about the ceremonies they do, and but what I was trying to show you was how the Europeans put a negative label. They knew that most people who are indoctrinated and are under the Christian faith, with this the most dominant religion here in the United States and probably throughout the Americas, it it sort of blindsides you and keeps you from looking at other healing um, techniques such as crystals and understanding energy such as chakras. But you're so focused on the physical because of the indoctrination in schools and throughout the educational system, and through the churches and spirituality, that you don't look at other ways of learning, other cultural backgrounds, other things, other sciences besides what's taught in school. And so you miss out on this part. And he was explaining how they place a paganistic new age label onto it to give it a negative connotation. And even though it's actual science, it can be seen as a science. Seeing objects as having energy source, that's a science. And we and understand our body and the electrical connection that it has, and how it keeps you healthy and whole, and then connecting back to the universe and to your ancestors. No, all of that is deep. And I was sort of fascinated with that, the process of that, because I saw the movie Black Panther, how they used the stones and the crystals for connecting with ancestors, the healing properties and everything. And I know the Africans does, I guess in the movie, the Africans used that no process, but it was also done by indigenous people here in the Americas as well. And I was watching another YouTuber, I can't think of his name, but he sort of believed that the Black Panther sort of ties into the Americas too, with some of the the storyline and how the I guess the folklores and storytelling that's been passed down for generations. Some of the stories are similar to the American indigenous, the Aborigine stories, the native and the Aborigine stories that's been passed down for centuries as well. But and yeah, but it says here, they went on and talked about, this is where it explains. It says the writing of the book is such a, this poses one its own questions and traditions, contexts such as this book would be useless and even counterproductive. The reason why the author has now decided to commit these teachings to writing, and that his elders had given him permission to do so, is to correct some of the new age information, in particular with the referred to as the power of the crystal. Unfortunately, a lot of the information has been disseminated in the new age fad is incorrect and contradictory. Some of the techniques described in certain books are even harmful and could be dangerous for those who try them. Among these, there are two practices in particular that are frequently mentioned, which could be seriously disturbing. So, see, and they were just explaining how it was given a negative connotation and how the Europeanized version has been put on there to make it seem like it's a negative type of thing practice, when it's an actual practice that was done by the indigenous people here in the Americas. And so, and when you that's why I said if you do crystal therapy or crystal healing, it's good to look at it. I'm gonna look at it from the indigenous aspect of it, and seeing more, but some people would take it in a negative light because of the negative connotation and labels that the Europeans do. And I noticed that a lot of times the Great Caucasian, they come in and they take a lot of the indigenous people's knowledge and put their names on it and then change it around. And sometimes, you've been indoctrinated, they're stealing your knowledge. They're going to make it seem like, oh, it's bad for you, but it's, something that they should be studying. They put a name on it. And then centuries later, next thing you know, you thinking that the knowledge came from them. And when in actuality, the ancient people here, our indigenous ancestors, have been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years, and it has more significant meaning than witchcraft or whatever, or spellbinding that they try to make it look like. It actually science to it, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I was taking this class on crystal healing, and it goes into the scientific part of it. And I'm taking this from an ebook from Melissa Crowhurst. I'm taking her class, but Melissa Crowhurst, in her ebook Crystal Healing, The Science of Crystal Healing, she says here, I'm going to read this passage. It says, first of all matters on earth is made of atoms. And she's talking about the scientific part of it. It says, what you say all that single cell in every single thing, for those who haven't quite remembered, atoms are essentially incredibly tiny building blocks made up of electrons, protons, and neutrons. They are essentially minuscule and packs of energy with incredible power and potential. In sum, everything, including you and me, are made of energy. And it's true. That's why I was talking about the chakras. And sometimes Reiki, people when you study Reiki, which is a Japanese art form of balancing your chakras, your energy points, which is your soul, pretty much, your life force, you learn how to balance that in Reiki in order so you can be healed. And it sort of helps make you more healthier and also be able to connect more with the universe. And it says here in this paragraph, now that we remember that everything is comprised of energy, the next important is to touch on that it is ever present. What I'm referring to is the law of conservation of energy. This scientific law says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's only changes in form, which is interesting. Like how when we're born, our energy enters or when we're conceived, the energy enters into the body. And then when you pass on and die, you go out of the body, your energy leaves, and it's transformed. You're transforming into another form of energy. But anyway, I'm just giving you an example. We combine the facts that the knowledge that we are all energy. It puts an interesting spin on existence. We cannot be created nor destroyed. We're only changing in form. That's what I was talking about, like being birth and death. I was just giving that an example. Now referring back to the term intangible. I gave earlier, the scientists refer to the field, the energy field, proven to exist everywhere and continuously surrounds us and connects us all because we're all energy and exist in the field forever. In some energy forms or another, we cannot be caught up, entangled with each other. Just the mere thought of things entangles us with it or them. But by the way, if talking everlasting energy entanglement has excited you, I encourage you to do some research on quantum physics. And it says looking for some introductory basic material to start off is because it's quite mind-boggling. It's a world that many scientists won't even venture into because it doesn't behave normally and can't be explained, controlled, or tested in conventional ways. And so this energy sort of goes straight into physics, which is another science. And sometimes we so caught up on the physical things we can't see, we just assume, oh, it doesn't exist, but it does exist. You can't see the air, technically, that you breathe, but it's there. It's made of molecules. If it's not there, you won't be able to breathe. You got to have your oxygen, if you don't, you might not see it with your bare eyes right away, but it's there, so, and that's what I got to say about the energy source. And I like how she explained it, how it can be tied into science, and physics is one of them, quantum physics. I need to research on that too, which ties it into it. And I'm not mistaken, it's another science too, that they're tying into psychology. I forgot what it's called. It's a new science, energy science for healing as well. But anyway, I can't think of the name of this particular science. I mentioned it in the other video. I believe, in another video. I believe it might have been the one on the chakra points. But anyway, they come up with countless science that's showing that science and theories that's showing that this energy, that our body produces energy. Because for example, I was taking a course, a certified cognitive neuroscience course in this doctoral program that I'm in. And when I studied the cognitive neuroscience portion of the class, it went over about the synaptic nerves that's in the brain that helps create cognitive brain function. And when these synaptic nerves starts to register and responding to outside stimuli and the thinking process, there's electrical currents that goes through the brain. And they never explains it in these books, especially medical books. They just talk about the physical part, but they never go into the scientific energy part to healing, like they should, because I feel like there's something to that. It's definitely something to it, because they always explain, energy. I go, what are these energies? And the brain is near the top part of the head, the crown chakra. When you study Reiki and Chrystal therapy, and you start to see that, the synaptic nerves in the brain is in the crown area of the chakra point, which releases more energy. So, uh, of course, they're not going to mention, oh, these are chakras or these are life forces in the brain, because they just call it energy. But there's a need to understand this energy, you know? How, and I believe too, this is speculation, I'm not sure, but I believe that sometimes a lot of diseases and illnesses come from uh, not having balanced energy sources. Stress, when, if you're stressed out, your blood pressure goes up. One way to get your blood, to calm down and to help improve your overall health is through meditation and probably yoga. Yoga is another way of balancing your chakras, along with Reiki. A lot of this have already been scientifically proven that yoga and meditation helps with calming your nerves. I say calming your nerve endings. It helps calm you down. So uh, you can, once you calm yourself down, your body calms down, and usually, it helps with your blood pressure issues. That's why they always recommend doing some sort of meditation each day, which I think is very important. When we hold in our feelings and our emotions, we sometimes have an imbalance, and it stresses us out. We internalizing negative energy can uh, affect your health um, and affect your thought processes as well. But I'm done with this page. I just wanted to mention how they changed what this learning of crystal healing therapy is all about, and made it look like it's a negative thing when in actuality it's a good thing. And I believe more and more American Aborigines need to tap into this. And I notice, it's not that many of us, and I think it's because we've been so indoctrinated and brainwashed to think it's bad. But sometimes we need to step outside ourselves just to learn more about the world and learn about different cultures, and especially, when you're trying to learn who you are, and if you want to learn more about your indigenous roots, sometimes you're going to have to step outside the box and see things from a different light, instead of just looking at the physical and what's tangible in your hand. Learn to see that, hey, this rock that I'm carrying is more than a rock. This crystal rock that I'm holding is more than just a crystal. It's actually an energy source. And a lot of these crystals, they use in products. And I don't think people look at that. Watches, if you buy a watch, some of these computer devices have quartz in it. These, different materials are used with these crystals. Why are they using these crystals? Crystals produce energy, and energy is a power force for making a lot of these mechanical or electronic devices work. And so that's why, like I said, there's something to this. And this is something that we should be learning about and we should know about. And I think that's also tapping more into opening up into the scientific part, and not just the spiritual, but the science part of what our indigenous ancestors were actually doing. And that's why they were probably so much farther advanced in certain aspects, especially building the pyramids and stuff. You know, to this very day, we're not able to understand the mathematical formula and everything that was used to create a lot of this stuff. Obviously, if they were able to do it, there's something missing. And I think this is part of it. So I wanted to also show you some of these rocks. Let's bring you over here. Oh, that's the author again. These crystals that I was telling you about, like here, this is so pretty. I'm not sure what kind. This is something we should be learning about. It says it is known as a healing stone it's called Chrystal gemstone. It says among Indians cultures where it's used for strengthening the body resistance. See? They use these for healing. And I thought that was pretty neat. And I'm not sure what this is. This is one of the medicine wheel ceremonies for healing. And we're shying away from it because we say, oh, that's so evil. But hey, the other cultures are using some of our, the Japanese, this is the Rike. That's why I'm learning. I'm actually enjoying learning how to do that. And I'm learning how to use the crystals for the chakra points, 7 chakra points within the body. And here are some more pictures right here of the stones. Right here, they go into detail the Native American gemstones that are used for the healing, which I think is quite amazing. Yeah, and I'm starting. Yeah, so I'm selling some. I want to say for y'all. I'm starting a store, Purpose Healing store. I'm still working on designing, laying it out. I'm gonna start putting some products in there as well on spiritual healing and indigenous, tapping into our indigenous heritage. But yeah. So anyway, I think I got this book right here. I think I might have that book here. But anyway, and then I wanted to also share an excerpt from another. Go back over here. This book is by Denise Lynn. It's called "Kindling Your Native Spirit." And it says here, ancient medicine men and women understood the power of stones and often used them for ceremonies and rituals because they believed they contained living spirits with healing properties. Though rocks seem inanimate, they were thought to be no less alive than a wild rose opening to the morning sun or a deer grazing in the mountain meadows. Sometimes stones are laid out in a particular formation as a way to invite energy into space. The practice of placing stones and rocks in patterns to invite spirit is not unique. It's something that's been practiced throughout the native world. For example, the native Indians' medicine wheel stone circle was a reminder of the great circle of life and invitation to spirit. Aborigines of various locations around Australia also create patterns of stones, some as large as 50 feet across. Many other Aboriginal stone circles and patterns are similar to the motifs of the shapes to ancient stone circles in Britain. Although there are no way at this time to date them, it suggested that these Aboriginal stones layout could be 25,000 years old. It's thought that these stone circles create the framework of initiating ceremonies to kindle the native spirit in you. Consider creating and meditating in a stone circle. So, yeah, I showed you all what that is on the other page of the medicine wheel. I believe this is it. You see? And see, these people are either, half-breeds of the original Aborigines or the $5 Indians. And they are all doing the medicine wheel. And this is some of the stuff that we should be doing. And none of us are doing it because we're so indoctrinated and brainwashed to thinking, hey, we're supposed to just follow everything. That Great Kaka used to tell us instead of going and learning for ourselves, because it's out here. The knowledge is out here. Oops, I'm sorry. Put y'all on the wrong page. But anyway, well, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. Because I think I personally believe it's something to it. Y'all can do your own research. I'm gonna put some links to this, and but the beautiful thing about chakra, it goes beyond religious background, whatever religion you are in practice, and it's some scientific meaning to these stones that because they're actually being used in products that's being used to power things such as watches and mechanical devices, and it's being used. And so, of course, it being used for this, then it's obvious some sort of energy to it. And we gotta, if we start looking more and more beyond just the physical limitations of what the invaders have imposed on us, and start opening up our eyes and seeing, these are some of the things we need to be looking at and learning. And it's a science. And it's a science that has been pretty much taken from us, and stolen pretty much, and it's something that we need to reintroduce ourselves to. And I think the more we tap more into our culture, our heritage, tap into the original understanding of the science of our people, and also the spiritual part and connecting with our ancestors, it will make a world of difference. And I'm going to be doing some more videos on that. And I'm going to go more into Reiki. And, I might touch on that a little bit, but that's Japanese art. But I'm going to talk about more of the chakra points when it comes to the indigenous people here in the Americas, because I'm still doing some research on that and trying to understand more and more about that, because a lot of the stuff is on universal energy and healing is was done by the indigenous people here. And I'm constantly gathering more information because that's what fascinates me. I want to learn more about these chakra points and how they're used for healing and connecting to the universe. And I also want to understand more about these rocks, these crystals, and the earth, and because, it's some meaning to that. We, everything has some sort of energy for us, and we should respect that. And in today's time, we don't respect Mother Earth at all. Our planet is being raped and pillaged and abused right now. And I think we as indigenous Aborigines need to reconnect to Mother Earth like we should when we're not. And that's important. We're not even connected to anything, pretty much. Everything's just so physical. We're not even connected to the soil. We don't even go out in nature anymore. We are so urbanized. Majority of us are in the country, not in the country, living in cities. We very rarely go out into nature and be with the plants, connect with the trees and the plants, because the indigenous people, that's what they did. They connected with the earth and respected the earth. That's why it was so beautiful. And the planet was beautiful. We knew that was very important, to connect to the planet and also the universe. And that's something that we're not doing. And I think that's why this planet is being, mistreated, because there's no type of respect, and we're not actually. I think if we learn how sacred and how important it is to value our home planet, the earth, and not allow the other people, or other entities to destroy it, it will make a big difference. But we are so brainwashed and still not looking at the fact that we're indigenous people here, not just here in the Americas, but to this planet. Our planet is being, pillaged right now, and Mother Earth is crying for us to help. And I think it's time that we, as American Aborigines, realize that. And I was awakened at the night by, the angels. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Yahweh. But anyway, I'm sorry if I offend anyone about that. I believe in Yahweh, but the Creator, the Most High, for those who are not, don't believe in, or say the same God as I do, but the Creator, the Most High. And yeah. But please like this video and thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Um, and yeah, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep you all posted. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my Facebook up with all the stuff that's going on Facebook. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my Facebook up. I'm still debating. But I am on Twitter and Instagram. I need to put more stuff up on my Instagram. And I also working on my website. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to put a link to you all to my website, because I have a counseling and wellness center that I have, and I do classes as well. And I also am working on a school that I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. And I also have an e-store that I'm getting together. I will eventually put that up too. As well. And I'm just working on many projects. I keep you guys posted. And peace, family, and be blessed. Bye-bye.